If you're on Mounjaro and Wegovy and you're wondering how does your underactive thyroid affect your weight, this video is for you. I'm Zeinab, I'm the pharmacist from PillSorted, and I'll explain how does hypothyroidism affect your weight, what happens to your thyroid when you do lose weight, what do you need to look out for. If you have a hypothyroidism and you're finding it really difficult to lose weight, there's a reason behind it. So thyroid hormones, as I explained in the previous video, they're the major regulators of your basal metabolic rate. And what that means is the number of calories that your body burns while you're resting. So just keeping your organs functioning that's the amount of calories that we call the metabolic rate. When you're underactive, that metabolic rate drops. So what that means is you're burning much fewer calories and your body is storing the energy much more efficiently. And the other thing it does is affects your blood vessels and your kidneys, and you start storing more water and salt. So how much of a weight gain does underactive thyroid cause? Not much, to be honest. So it's around 2 to 5 kilos. So if you have even more weight gain than that, it can be a combination of other reasons as well as an underactive thyroid. However, it does make it difficult in other ways too. So for example, the tiredness and fatigue that the hypothyroidism brings, it makes it difficult to keep moving. And the other thing is it takes a while for the metabolic rate to get back into normal. So even when you've been diagnosed and you've been put on treatment, it takes a while for your body to start functioning on the normal rate. So what does losing weight do to your thyroid? If you lose weight for whatever reason, be it exercise, be it diet, be it bariatric surgery, when you lose weight, your body starts conserving the energy because it feels that there's not going to be enough around. So it gets much more efficient at storing energy. It'll start lowering down your overall metabolic rate and send signals to your thyroid as well to reduce. So it can affect your thyroid levels because it's your body's natural way of trying to survive. And what that means is you really do need to get your thyroid levels checked when there's any significant change in your weight, okay? Most of the time what's happening is people have underactive thyroid diagnosed, they're on thyroid medication and treatment, and when they come onto the GLP treatments, they lose significant amount of weight. And what that means is the strength of the thyroid treatment that they've been put on is too high for their current weight. Make sure that you go for that regular review, and especially if there's been like a significant change around 10 kilos or 2 stone marker in your weight, have your thyroid levels checked. Now, what does the GLPs do? So the GLPs work like the GLP hormone in our body. And what that does is first it signals to your brain to say I'm full, then it helps slow down your whole digestion, and it helps regulate both your sugar levels and your energy levels. So that's how the GLPs work. They don't affect your thyroid. They don't regulate your appetite or affect your metabolic rate via the thyroid either. But they do support people who've got an underactive thyroid to lose weight better, which would have an improvement effect on their thyroid function. There is a warning in the patient information leaflets of the GLP injections, both Mounjaro and Wegovy, about the higher risk of the GLP receptor agonist can cause an overgrowth in the C cells of rodents. Okay, what does that mean? The C cells are a kind of cells that are in the thyroid gland, but they're not the ones that are responsible for creating the thyroxine and the T3. They are the ones that regulate calcium. They're much smaller amount in the human thyroids, but there's much more of them in the rodents. Those in the rodents are more receptive to the GLPs. Now, although in the rodent types we have had the higher risk of medullary thyroid carcinoma or MTC, there has been a huge amount of trials in humans, tens and thousands of humans, and these have established that there is not an increased rate of MTC in patients taking GLP, in human patients taking GLP. And this has been over 15 years of clinical and real world data. So they're genuinely safe. But if someone in your family has had thyroid cancer, and especially the MTC type, so that's like only 1 to 2% of the thyroid cancer types, that's the MTC, you would definitely not eligible for using the GLPs. The same if there has been a cancer of multiple endocrine neoplasia. So again, these are rare types of cancer, but if you know that somebody in the family has had something like this, then you should avoid the GLPs. Another thing that happens a lot is usually when people are on the GLP injections, they take a lot of different supplements. And I want to put an important focus here on the supplements. First of all, some supplements directly interfere with the absorption of the levothyroxine, like iron, like calcium, even magnesium. Please don't take these supplements at the same time as your thyroxine tablets, your levothyroxine. Leave a good couple of hours between them, okay? And some supplements like iodine actually disrupt the function of the thyroid itself. So again, don't use those in high strength at all. Things like selenium and zinc can sometimes affect the same way as iodine. Again, high strengths of those are not a good idea. One more thing I want to talk about. So supplements are not regulated the same way as medicines are. Both the dosing can be inconsistent. High strength don't mean better all the time. Especially there is a recommended daily allowance, and that recommended daily allowance is based on white males. So imagine big body sizes. That recommended daily allowance for a petite BAME women will be very different, and even their metabolic rate can be slightly different as well. So even that can be too high, but high strengths of 1 items or 2 items is really not a good idea. Keep to the recommended daily allowance for these supplements as well, and that could give you a better outcome. And the other thing is, look out for these symptoms. So if you feel really tired or really cold, or on the other hand you feel really anxious and you can't fall asleep, these can be symptoms of your thyroid not being in balance. Talk about these, get your blood levels checked. And as a recap, underactive thyroid can affect your weight. GLPs are generally safe to take to support you with losing weight. If you lose significant amount of weight, make sure that you do blood checks and have your thyroid levels checked. As always, if you've got any questions about these medications, feel free to reach out to us.